if we can get them to come up, that's half the battle. If we get them just to come in the door, they're looking for something. They might not be looking for sobriety, but they're looking for something. There's some unmanageability in their life. And we usually get people to come in and maybe they want to take a look at the place and see what really goes on here. Maybe they have a son or a daughter that they want to get into treatment. So we kind of take them around. We try to give them a bird's eye view of what takes place. We let them see the people, walk through and, let them know that it's a confidentiality thing. And then we explain to them what we try to do, because 90% of the people that come here, that wind up coming up here, don't really want to be here. They know there's something wrong with their life. They're not quite sure what it is. But the fact that they come is an admission that there's some unmanageability. So we try to take it from there. And we're not trying to jam something down there, like one of the things that I used to use when I did a lot of intakes and stuff like that, they'd be coming in and they'd be bitching and moaning. And I say, God damn it, they're doing that again. I said, let's call a union, get you the hell out of here. You don't have a problem. So now this guy is here on a job intervention, or however he came here, for the first time. So when I go to reach for the phone, he said, well, Jim, maybe we ought to think about this. So he knows he doesn't want to rock the boat. When people come in for the family things, just kind of looking around, they want to see what they're getting into. Want to look at the place, see if it's comfortable. Most people, when they come into this place, to the villa, we're a little bit different than a lot of other places. And, we all do the same work. But, they say that there's some kind of a spirit in here. When people come in, they feel welcome. We try to have somebody greet them at the door. We try to sit them down, have them a cup of coffee and whatever else. But the fact that they're here, then we take it from there. Then we do an intake with them. We try to get the family involved, whoever takes them up, like the significant other. What we like to do is to get 10 to 15 minutes for them to sit down with the person that they're bringing in, so that they can at least get out some of their issues and some of their problems, some of the concerns that they have. When we do that, it's a little bit easier. A lot of times we can't do that because the families don't come up with them. So, but I think they can come in and, they're wondering what the heck this is all about. We've been very fortunate up here because we've had a lot of local people come in for treatment here. Ordinarily, that wouldn't happen. If it was left up to us, we'd send them someplace else because we're too close to the neighborhood. But we've been blessed that, they've been able to come in and, kind of get it straightened out here. So when they come in, it's just an idea. We try to tell them what we do. We have a series of meetings. The goal is to get the individuals to have some insight into themselves. We're not just focusing on the alcoholism per se. We're trying to focus on how dependent they become on whatever their drug of choice is. If we can get that dependency kind of going, then it's a door that's really sort of open. Then we get them to look at the unmanageability of their lives and the price that is paid. So when we get people to sit down and talk about this, then it starts to make some sense. Yeah, that's the whole, and it gets from, again, one of the things that I talked about early on when I talked about the spirit in the house. If the fellowship is in really pretty good shape, they help those newcomers when they come in. They can kind of get to them, they share with them. You probably, the day you come in, you'd be introduced to the rest of the staff. They bring you in, the rest of the staff a lot of times. And, but that'll be a process. But then we'll take them into a meeting, and then we have big group meetings, and then we have individual meetings. But we usually get them into what we call a fishbowl. And they'll be introduced at the fishbowl as a new member or something like that. And then the people will kind of go around and try to help them and tell them how they felt when they come in. But we have a schedule, a weekly schedule, 7 days. We have meetings, we have quiet time, we have recreational facilities. Then we ask them, would they have to do some assignments at night? We give them some written assignments that they have to do. We ask them to do an autobiography. One of the things that we're kind of different than most other places, we want them to do a 4th and 5th step while they're here. That's an inventory of themselves and being able to talk about their own hurts and disillusionments and stuff. And, we have some literature that kind of helps them go through that. And that's usually a big help, especially people that have been having trouble. One of the things they talk about is that they never really did a 4th and 5th step. They never got the pain out. They never got the shame and the guilt down. We don't ask them to, kind of tell that to everybody, but they do the work with their counselor and stuff like that and get some of those things out in the open, and it's a big relief. I was talking to somebody the other day that came in a week or so ago, and he was really very, very troubled, had all kinds of problems. And then I had a meeting with him yesterday afternoon, and he says to me, I really feel like I had a weight lifted off my shoulder. He said, I really came clean with somebody, with his counselor, that, he talked about a lot of his hurts, a lot of his shame and guilt, and he says, it's out in the open. He says, not in the open, but it's out. He says, I'm not carrying it. He says, I actually can feel the relief. And this is what really happens. It's like sharing something, if you share it with somebody else, you latch onto the hope.